Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brilliance Manifested, and I wanted to do this video for quite a while now. And it's the 6 things that we should truly judge someone for. It's the 6 things that determine someone's value. It is the 6 things that people are going to most remember you for. Defines your character, defines you, determines your value. Now, in recent years, we've seen people repudiate others, use these erroneous things to determine whether we're going to stay cool with somebody or befriend someone, whether we like someone, dislike someone, or love someone or hate someone. And things like social constructs like race, money, religion, these are things, political affiliations, whether you support the LGBTQ community or not, what you choose to identify as. These are things that we've allowed to distract us, that separate us and divide us, and erroneously judge people or misjudge people. And I'm here to tell you the 6 things that you should judge people by. And I think I think the consensus would say, oh, those are pretty rational things. Anybody of any walk of life could, agree with. Any religion, any, gender, political affiliation, anybody of sound mind, that is, because everybody's not of sound mind. We have a lot of undiagnosed psychopathy here in America. So the 6 things that I say define you, determine your value, determine your character, the things that people most remember you by, the things that you should judge people on by. Let's see, character, definition, remembrance, value, and judgment. Number 1, well, the first 3 are the 3 A's. Attitude, actions, the things that you do, because you are what you repeatedly do. So if you repeatedly do good, then that stats towards the good parts of you. You repeatedly do bad, then that stats towards the bad part of you. Your attitude determines your altitude, so they say. It really does. It determines how far you ascend in life and descend in life with the people in your life, and that's your Rolodex or your personal connections. You got to have a good attitude. And then the way you approach people and the way you respond to people that approach you. You know what I'm saying? The first thing that we see about a person is their look. But then after that, it's about if they come to you, how do they approach you? If they approach you in a manner that was respectful or disrespectful or aggressive or passive aggressive, you know what I mean? It's all about their approach. Those are the 3 A's. Again, approach, actions, and attitude. But then you have behavior. We see a lot of people in society that just don't know how to act. They get in certain environs and they're very loud, obnoxious, they're knocking things down. And that's something that's the visual side of things too. You see somebody, you want to see them mild-mannered, not trying to cause a scene or disrupt or disturb the peace. And that's one of the things we should judge people by too. How are they acting? We're in church right now. The time and place that we're at. Are you being loud in a place that, like a library? Things like that. Are you bringing babies to movie theaters? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you being overly laughy over a scene in a movie and disrupting it for others? You know what I'm saying? It's things like that. The next thing I would say are motivations. Now, you could kind of say this with intentions, but what are your motives? What are your intentions with the people in your life? Are they good? Are they benign? Are they malignant? When you make them known, do your actions align with what you've made known? Like, hey, I'm here to do this positive thing. Or, you could be a wolf in sheep's clothing. You could tell them, like I said, do the positive actions align with what you just said? You say, I'm here to do these good things, but you're doing this, and it contradicts what your motives and intentions are, your motivations. And we just like to hope that the people that we allow into our lives and we allow entrance into our lives have good intentions. And sometimes you don't even have to state your intention. Some people are more about actions than words because they want to just see what you're here to do. And that's what ultimately matters. You could say, like we work with people and you say, I want to just wring his neck. But you didn't do it. You may have felt like it, but you didn't do it. So sometimes it's all about actions. And, do your actions align with your intentions? The next thing is response. How do you respond to things? Life sometimes, I always, people ask me how I'm doing. They say, how are you doing, George? And I say, just rolling with the punches because, like life's going to throw them. Life's going to give you lemons. And it's all about what do you do when those lemons are thrown at you? Do you make lemonade? Do you make lemon cookies? Do you make lemon meringue pie? Do you have the mindset, it on your mind, the ingredients in your head to make multiple things with these lemons that life throws you? You know what I mean? So it's about that. It's about how you respond to things, because life sometimes throws things out of left field. You never know what the day is going to bring you. We don't have a way of prognosticating what the day is going to bring. We only hope that we wake up and that it's a good day. All we have is hope. And as Adele Besteveros said, if you have no hope, you've already lost. So we got to maintain hope. We got to have hope. And we got to think positively. And, we got to be able to respond to things. Life is going to throw things at us. And it's like, okay, let's not respond emotionally at this moment. Try not to respond emotionally, because when you're angry, you're not yourself. When you're in negative emotions, you're not yourself. You shouldn't judge people when they're angry by what they say, when they have liquor in their system, or when they're under influence of some type of drugs, because that's not them inherently. They're under the influence. They're not in their right mind. So revisit these people, and maybe they should revisit you and tell you, like, hey, the way I responded that moment probably wasn't the best. I apologize. This is how I really feel. And, hopefully things end up better. So response. And the last thing I like to say, I'm going to throw a bonus up in there after this last thing. And then I'll give you a summary of all 6, a roll call of all 6. The treatment of others, the way you treat people that you love or claim to love, the way you treat people even you don't like, treat people that you tolerate. Even when especially with the way you treat other people you don't like. Because if you're beside somebody and you see the way they treat somebody they don't like, what if you're that person one day that they're at odds with? What if one day you're that person they don't like? You look at how they treat others. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, they could do me like this. I see them, they don't like this person. They're revealing all their secrets on social media or damning things about them, exposing them. And it's like, damn, that could be me they don't like one day, and they know me like the back of their hand. And they're telling everybody these things about me. You know what I mean? So you just got to pay attention to the way people treat others. That's very important, because, you could get into a relationship with somebody and they're like, okay, I'm going to treat you good and treat everybody else like shit. Nobody wants to be with somebody like that. You know what I mean? Treat everybody good. I have my girlfriend who I love to death, but I still show respect and hold doors open for other women. And she knows that I'm just a good guy. But we have our exclusive things and our nuances that make it where I treat her differently than any other woman. She's my lady. So there's obviously things that are exclusive to us. But when it comes to respect for women, I treat women, like I said in the earlier video, don't let attraction or things like that or age be the factor in which this is how I'm going to treat a woman with respect. Treat all women with respect, whether they're old, young, you're attracted to them or not. So the way you treat others is very important. Now, the bonus was, how does a person do things or what they do when they're bored? You could determine a lot about a person based on what they do when they're bored. You have some people you work with, and when there's nothing left to do, they're going to be on their phones, play on their phones. And then you have people that are going to try to find something to do to work, try to go look for something that's an overlooked task or an overlooked thing that we normally don't do, and give that some attention to detail. So that's a bonus. As long as you're not, like, it's the number graph, right? Remember when we were in school, we had the negative numbers, the 0 and the positive integers, right? As long as you're not in those negative integers and doing something destructive, harmful, or disturbing to someone else's peace, I like to think you're on the good. So it's really zero or the positive integers. You don't want to be in the negative integers. You don't want to go, like, you don't have to go and donate charities every day or go out of your way to do this for people every day. As long as you're not fucking with somebody, hurting somebody, disturbing someone's peace, approaching somebody the wrong way, mistreating somebody, giving somebody a bad attitude, you know, behaving in a way that's obnoxious, or, you know, disrupting, you know, things for people at work. As long as you're not responding to people in a foul way, or you're not plotting on somebody, you know, those are things in the negative integers. Those are the things that makes you be on the devil's time clock. You don't want to be doing any of that. You just want to be neutral or positive if you can. So it really determines how people will remember you. People will remember you based on how good of a person you were. They're not going to care about your job or what you had. They're going to remember you for, even strangers, like for 2 seconds. If you were nice to this person, they'll remember you for those 2 seconds. Like, hey, he was very polite. You know what I mean? So it's like, it determines your character. It determines your value. How much good you do determines your value. The same way, if you're a shitty person, you commit crimes and you hurt people, that's going to determine your value. People aren't going to care or sympathize for you if you were a shitty person. You know what I mean? Your funeral's going to probably have either people that were shitty like you or no one there because you were a horrible human being. You mistreated people. You approached people the wrong way. You had a shitty attitude. You behaved fucked up. You know what I mean? You had bad intentions. You responded to people the wrong way. So that's the value portion of it. It defines you. None of this other stuff defines us. Our religion doesn't define us. Our race doesn't define us. Our political inclinations doesn't define us. Our religious selections or non-selections doesn't define us. These are the things that define us. Again, the 6 things are approach, attitude, actions, behavior, motivation or intents, response. Wait, is that more than 6 things? Okay, so we got to edit this. Attitude, approach, actions, behavior, motivations and intentions, response, and the way you treat others. So that's really 7 things. 8 if you count the bonus. So I said 6 things and I counted 8. But nonetheless, these are the things that determine everything. These are the things that define you. Determine, again, character, definition defines you. Things that people remember you for, your value, and the way that you should judge others. All this other shit, we judging people based on if they're black or they're white. These are social constructs that were made by man to divide us and turn us against each other. Financial height or, you know, tall or shortness. That doesn't matter. Our religion, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if someone were to save you, save your life, why do you care about what race they were? If they believe in God or not. You care about how they were with you in those final moments, could be final moments of your life, whether you were going to die or be saved. You're not going to care about those things, right? You're not going to remember those things. You're not going to remember, oh, well, they were a Christian man, or they saved me because they believed in God, or they saved me because I was a black man, they were a black man, or I'm a white man, they're a white man, or, you know, they saved me because we're both Democrats, we're both liberals, or we're both conservatives. I'm a human, they're human, and they saved my life because I'm a human. They don't know any of this stuff about me. I don't know any of this stuff about them. All I know is they put forth the effort and time to come save my life. And then from there, it's about the 8 things. Actions, approach, attitude, behavior, motivations and intent, response, and the way that they were treating me. Those are the only things we care about. And those are the only things that we should judge people by. Thank you for watching this 15 damn near long minute video. And I hope that if you didn't know to judge people by these things already, now I give you some perspective. And this is something you could take with you now and pay attention to, and how you treat people and how people treat you. And these are the things. So I've been wanting to do this one for a while, and thank you for watching.